All right, looks like we are live. We are live. Come on in. Come on in. Make sure y'all like and share. Like and share, please. Please like and share. Appreciate all the support. I'm going to share the stream myself. Make sure you share the stream for us. I appreciate it. That's all right. As you're coming in, get myself together here. Make sure we are operational everywhere. Check it out. Check it out. While I'm doing my checks, man, hopefully everybody's doing great. Checking, checking. Looks like that's good. Right, all right, all right. Looks like we're good there. Please like and share. Please like and share. Thank you so much in advance. I appreciate it. All right. All right, all right, all right. Come on in, come on in. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. All right, all right, all right. Man, so let's go ahead and get started. Man, thank y'all so much for coming on. Thank you so much. You're tuned in to Cap Talks Live. I'm your host, Jeff. Jeff Bulls. If you don't know me, I'm the president of a advocacy organization here in Saginaw and in the state of Michigan called Saginaw CAP, and that's Community Alliance for the People. We're a grassroots advocacy organization. We advocate for the community on many different levels, from criminal justice to environmental issues, environmental justice, that is, and so much more. We are very policy focused. We try to make sure that the community is centered in all community discussions, especially at the government level. So many times, when you're dealing with things in a city, in a state, even federally, a lot of times the people aren't heard, and so we've created a platform where the people are centered. What you want your community to look like matters, and so that's what we do as an organization. So again, I want to thank you so much for coming on. Please like the stream, heart the stream, share the stream. We got a great show ahead of us, and I'm so grateful that you're tuning in. Without further ado, before I get to my guest, you know what I mean. I go into a little something that I call "What's on My Mind," and so let me bring this up here. So one of the things that's on my mind is this election. This election is so important, so important. And I know that you hear that every election cycle, but you're supposed to hear it every election cycle. Um, Elections are important. I need you to know that. I hope that any of you that are out here under the sound of my voice, if you're not registered to vote, get registered to vote. Don't be embarrassed if you're not. You know what I mean? I know how it is. A lot of us are dealing with life, man. You work, you know what I mean? You take care of your kids. You're trying to manage your household. You know what I mean? Life be life, man. I get it. And so sometimes, voting isn't at the top of the list. Sometimes it's not at the, it's not in your mind all the time. You know what I mean? Somebody like me, I love politics, and sometimes I have to step back and think and understand that everybody doesn't like politics. Everybody doesn't deal with politics like I do. And so, it's something that I'm thinking about all day, every day. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of a politics geek in that way. So I'm always paying attention to policy and always paying attention to candidates. I'm always, you know what I mean? It's something that's embedded in me. And I truly understand that everybody's not like that, but I need you to understand that No matter if you like politics or, you know what I mean, it's not, what you live and breathe and eat like me. It still needs to be a part of your life. And I say that because, you either do politics or politics will do you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like politics affects every aspect of your life, whether it's local politics, whether it's county politics, city politics, whether you live in a township, whether you live in a village, you know what I mean, and on up to the state and on up to the federal. Politics and public policy affects your life in multiple ways, and it would behoove you to have some understanding about the political climate that you live in. It would be to your benefit to understand how your city politics work. It would really be to your benefit to understand who your city council is, who your county prosecutor is, who your judges are, who, you know what I mean? Like I can go down the list of all the positions that affect your daily life. And, we're coming up on an election. We're actually coming up on a primary election right now. August 6th is the primary election. That's the election. That's the most, the one that's coming up on us the soonest, the one that you should be focused on, especially, us here in Saginaw. But it's August 6th is a national primary, but specific to Saginaw, we got some people on the ballot that you need to be paying attention to. And, I'll throw a quick plug out there. Man, you gotta pay attention. You gotta get in the game. You gotta get in the game. If you're not registered, you know what I mean, you can go on michigan.gov/vote. Man, there's other sites that you can go to check your registration status, to, it's easy to register to vote. And so hopefully, if you really, really listen to me, I'm telling you, it's really important. It's really, really important that you get registered to vote and be ready to vote on August 6th, and then also be ready to vote in November. It's so important. It's so important. I see some comments in the stream. Man, I appreciate y'all coming on. I see my guest is in there talking to our folks. Hi, Carmen. Hi, Shalonda. Hi, Tenille. Man, it's, grateful to have everybody on. And so, again, voting is very, very important. The next thing I want to get to is something that's, again, connected to voting. Here in Saginaw, we're doing something called the Souls to the Polls campaign. And, you know what I mean? This campaign is so important, and it's so pivotal. I'm so proud of this thing that we're doing with Souls to the Polls, because it's a conglomeration of multiple entities. You're talking about 50 plus churches are signed on to the Souls to the Polls initiative. You're talking about community organizations that are signed on to the Souls to the Polls initiative. You're talking about the NAACP. You're talking about the League of Women Voters. You're talking about organizations like Ezekiel Project. I mean, it is major. It is major. And I'm so proud of the community for coming together, you know what I mean, to really show unity in this moment, because we're in a moment. We're in a moment. Like, we have some historic people on this ballot for August 6th. I'm gonna keep saying that date, because we can't worry about November. August 6th is what's important right now. And so what we're doing with the Souls to the Polls campaign, if you see the graphic on the screen, you see two specific Sundays, and these are the next two Sundays. So Sunday, July 28th, and Sunday, August 4th. What you're gonna see is you're gonna see all of these churches. All of these churches, they're gonna have their church service as normal, and then when they get out of church service, they're gonna take their people to the polls. We're voting that day. We're voting on these days. On July 28th, on this Sunday coming up, If you see a lot of traffic on Sunday after about 12:30, 1 o'clock, it's all these churches going to the polls. You're going to see church vans, and you're going to see all kind of traffic going on Michigan Street and on down to Cass Street, because that's where the polls are. That's where the poll is. That's where the early voting poll is. It's on Cass Street. And once everybody gets down there, we're going to have food trucks down there. We're going to have tents and chairs and music. And we're making this a huge event because we want to show how important voting is. And we're showing a united front. Again, 50-something churches. You're talking about community organizations and service providers all coming together to have a big Souls to the Polls campaign. All of these people are coming to the polls on these 2 Sundays. This first one is July 28th. And if you're not able to make that one, make it to the next Sunday, which is August 4th. And if you can't make it to either one of them, even if you don't come to Souls to the Polls, I need you to know that here in Michigan, early voting starts on Saturday. You can go to this polling location on Saturday and vote. And you can go for the next 9 days after that. You can come party with us on the Souls to the Polls. Or if you can't make it on those Sundays, you can go Saturday, you can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, the poll on Saturday is open. It is open. And so we getting our people in here. We getting our people to the polls to vote because it's so important. It's so important. And I hope that, you would join us. I have to say this because, a lot of people feel some kind of way sometimes. Yes, this Souls to the Polls is a historic thing around the country. Like, this isn't new. This isn't some new idea. You know what I mean? Souls to the Polls has a historic meaning in our community. When you think of the Black church and you think of the church's role historically in our community, whether you think about, the civil rights movement, you think about Jim Crow and everything that we've been through, Souls to the Polls was us using our collective platform with the Black church to get people to vote. And so all we're doing is continuing that legacy and getting our folks, from our churches to vote. But you don't have to be somebody from the church. You know what I mean? That's not a requirement. That's just something that we did with the churches. We did this with the churches, but we also did this with the NAACP. We also did this with the League of Women Voters and other organizations that aren't in the church. So you don't have to be somebody that's a church goer or a religious person to come and join with us and join us in this major event. This is just about unity. It's just about unity. It's just about bringing our folks together, understanding the importance of this moment. Like, we have a historic ballot here. You're talking about, and I'm not endorsing. So let me throw that out there as a caveat. I'm not endorsing anyone, but I'm telling you about the ballot. You have a historic ballot. You know what I mean? If someone was to vote for her, I'm speaking of Pam Pugh. If you were to vote for her, she would be our first Black congresswoman from Saginaw. That's historic. If you vote for Hill Harper, he would be our first Black senator. Historic, y'all. Like, this is major, I'm telling you. And so we have an opportunity to make history. We have an opportunity to make history, and I hope you understand the severity of the moment. And so, again, you see the graphic on the screen. Souls to the Polls. These next 2 Sundays, come out, join us, eat some food. We're gonna have food trucks out there. We're gonna have music. We're gonna have a bunch of tents and chairs, and you can just kind of sit around and you can go vote, and then you can come out and get you some food, man, and just enjoy the festivities and really just fellowship with your people, man. And that's what we're doing. So I appreciate that. If you have any other questions, man, throw something in the chat, or you can message me privately or whatever. But, souls to the pose. That's what we're doing. The next thing that I have in mind, and this is something that, just happened. Let me throw this up there. Kamala Harris. So in this last week or so, you had President Joe Biden announce that he's not running for president. He's not running for re-election. And so he released a statement, stepped down, and then he also endorsed Kamala Harris, his vice president, as the next nominee for president. And of course, that was a big announcement, nationally. I mean, it really, brought a lot of people out, a lot of different comments on the good end, bad end, whatever. And so, we're in a moment. So I think it's kind of shifted the energy a bit, where, a lot of people, weren't really feeling Biden, and people were starting to see his cognitive decline. I mean, he was in, and I think that last debate really did it, where, he wasn't talking right. He wasn't talking right. And so, I think they couldn't hide it no more. They couldn't hide it no more. So, they got him to step down. And I think that was a great decision on his behalf. I think it was a selfless decision on his behalf, because he could have blew it off. He could have, stayed in there and said, ain't nothing wrong with me. And I'm going to hang in there. But, credit to him for stepping down. Now, where we've kind of created a wedge is where, you have him endorse her. And, there's two sides of that. Most people feel like, okay, she was on his, she's his vice president. She was on his, she's on his campaign. So it's an easy shift to go from him to her. All the money that they raised would easily just go to her. And that's one train of thought. I'll be honest, I'm on the other end. They raised money with him at the top of the ticket, not her. In my opinion, I feel like it should have been an open convention. I feel like the people, and not just the delegates, but I think the people would have embraced another process to where you could see her and other candidates at the convention, hit that stage and actually, really make their case. And then I think if you go through a process like that and you come out of the convention with your candidate, that you vetted through the process, I think more people would be on board. As it stands right now, you got a lot of people, a lot of Divine Nine folks that's, they just riding, And that's cool. Like everybody, has their opinions. Everybody, you choose your candidate, and a lot of people are choosing her, and that's cool. But I think you have some other entities, in particular, of interest to me. You have somebody like Rashida Tlaib. Rashida Tlaib is pro-Palestine. She is Palestinian. And so she was riding the Biden administration on calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. And so, somebody like her, you go from Biden to Harris, there's no change. So she's not just jumping out here and endorsing her. She sees this as an opportunity to sit down with her and have a conversation like, hey, Like I was on Biden, Now he's stepping down and he's not running. Well, now I'm on your case now. Like I need for you to, Like we're going to have to sit down. We're going to have to talk about this Gaza thing. And I think, I appreciate that in her, because I appreciate principles in politics. Like you have to, understand, you have to stand for something. Like I get all the energy around her, but that's just vibes. And politics ain't vibes. Politics is policy. And We need to stick to principles. I think we could learn a lesson from Rashida Tlaib in that have an ask for somebody before you start supporting them, before you start, like, they didn't raise like 15, 20 million for her, and you haven't even sat her down to get a black agenda. You don't even have a policy ask. You just riding a wave. I can't get with that, y'all. I really can't. And so, you know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the convention goes. You know what I mean? And, you know, we'll see in November. Let me check the comments real quick. I appreciate y'all leaving comments, man. I appreciate y'all. Hi, Carolyn, Shalonda. Hey, Kat, how you doing? Shalonda had a question. She has a question. You're basically asking, can Trump stop her from getting those funds? I think there is a challenge going on right now. I think there is a challenge, and we'll see how that goes. I think that, but I don't know if it'll go through. I think eventually she'll get those funds because she was on the campaign. This is the Biden Harris campaign, and so I think she'll eventually get those funds. Well, I think she already has them. I don't think nothing's really gonna stop her, but Trump is gonna definitely challenge it. He should. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on the other side, you know what I mean, you're gonna try to do something to throw her off a little bit. So I can see them challenging it. I just don't see them winning that. And so I think she'll get those funds. And then, they still raising money. Like I said, the moment that she announced, like in the next day or two, like they had raised like $20-something million. And I'm pretty sure they're still raising money. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think she'll be all right. She'll be all right. So, Carmen says they were on the ticket together, so it's her money also. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that's pretty much how it went. It just the money just pretty much just shifted to her, and so I think that's how election law goes. Unless we hear something different, I don't think we will. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, you know what I mean. We gonna see some action in November. So we got Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, and that's what it's gonna be. So we'll see. That's how that goes. So that's all I got for my thoughts. Now I'm gonna shift and bring on my special guest. Let me shift my screen here and get everything together. Coming to the stage, man. So, gotta bring my fellow Saginawian on. I don't think she needs a major introduction. I know a lot of y'all know her. Man, she has a major platform. I'm excited to have her on. I'm honored to have her on because, man, she's been doing her thing down there in the A. You know what I mean? Representing for the A, representing for Saginaw. You know what I'm saying? Without further ado, the CEO of Peachy Tea Tyme, Miss Tenille Davis. Madam, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. How about you?
I am wonderful. I am so wonderful, and I am so honored to be here today. That souls for the poll. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Like you said, I am a Saginaw native, so to see that you're doing big things like that, that's dope. So I applaud you for that. Um, like I told you, I don't know a lot about politics, unfortunately, but I like that. I like that.
Hey, I appreciate
Everybody
it.
going down there to vote. You guys are doing y'all thing and helping the people. That's the good thing. You guys are helping them to get there. So I applaud y'all for that. I definitely
Man,
applaud.
thank you so much. I mean, it's been a great thing. We got like I said, we got a lot of partners, man, like 50 something churches and organizations, man, that are,
Yes.
they just changed the law because when Trump was in office, they took the law away where churches couldn't take people on their church vans to the polls. Now they changed it back, and so
Awesome.
now they get to bring all their people. So it's a great thing.
Definitely a great thing. Definitely a great thing. And I want to tell
Yeah.
all my people that's in the chat, baby, y'all doing y'all Hey, y'all
Man,
ain't
I
tell me y'all
appreciate
knew about politics.
it. Man, hey, I
They
appreciate
ain't
it. And
tell
thank
me.
you. Yeah, yeah, they riding with you. I appreciate it. Oh man. So, man, tell us about Peachy Tea Time. Tell us how that came about.
All right. Well, Peachy Tea Time. I am the proud CEO founder of Peachy Tea Time. Peachy Tea Time is also a nonprofit organization, 501(c)(3). So I started it 3 years ago. And I'm so grateful, so grateful. But when I started it, Jeff, I thought I was going to be doing celebrity gossip. And that's what I thought. I love celebrity gossip. So I thought I was gonna be doing celebrity gossip, but God shifted it to crime. He shifted it to crime. I do remember years and years and years ago, I used to watch every crime video that they had out there, from first 48, after the first 48, scare straight, cops, whatever, anything that with crime, I used to watch it,
Hmm.
not knowing that God was preparing me for what I'm doing right now. I tell everybody that I remember my husband, you know him, Pooley.
Yep.
Pooley used to come home from work, and I would get home early from work, and I would be in the room, all the lights off in the house, and I'd be in the bedroom watching First 48. And Pooley would come in, and he'd just come to the bedroom door and just be staring at me, and he'd be like, "Oh, so you watching Death again?" And I look at him, and I'd be like, yeah. Do you want to watch? If not, please leave me be." And again, I had no idea that my platform was going to be about crime. But again, I'm so thankful that God redirected my path to crime, because I am truly, truly, truly helping families. Not only am I helping families, I'm also helping myself just as well, by you know getting the awareness of what's going on. We can't just go to Walmart no more and just walk in and think everything gonna be all right.
Right.
You got to be aware of your surroundings, y'all. You have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. So that's what PGT Time does just as well, is help people to be aware of their surroundings, let them know what's going on, and also we make sure that people have their muscatool on them. We call it the muscatools. That's what we call it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because we
what
gotta be
kind of
safe. We gotta be safe.
what kind of story? Oh yeah, absolutely. So on your platform, like what kind of stories, do what kind of stories do you highlight? What kind of families and people do you have on the show?
Okay. Well, PGT Time is about crime. Okay. We talk about crime all over the world. And it's not your typical crime, not just any little bitty thing. We dig down deep. I find the worst crime that's going on, and sometimes we have funny crime that's going on just as well. So we bring that to the platform. But one of the things that stands out for PGT Time, and also puts me aside of all the other crime channels on YouTube, I have families that come on my platform every Wednesday, and they tell their loved one story on how they was murdered through gun violence, domestic violence, the prison system, and also by the police. We also do missing person cases and also suicide cases. YouTube don't too much like us to say it, so blank myself out on that. But we also do that just as well. The families come on to bring awareness and also to keep their loved one name alive just as well.
Okay. So would you say it's kind of therapeutic for those families when they come on to talk about their stories? So I know sometimes the media doesn't necessarily tell every aspect of it. So do you think that kind of helps them? really tell the real story.
It definitely helps the family. It helps them with healing just as well. This is what I like to say. We all know that the news don't tell it all. They just tell a portion of it. We also know that the streets be talking. The streets talk a lot. And a lot of the family members, they can't get to everybody in the streets to tell them the truth or to tell them exactly what happened. So I give them that platform where they can come on, let everybody know what's going on, let everybody know what happened, to their ability, because everything is always allegedly. When you have someone that was murdered and it was just them and then the suspect, no one knows between only them, suspect, and God. So the family comes on and they tell what they was told, whether it's from the police, whether it's from somebody that done told, because no one keeps things a secret nowadays. They always got to tell somebody. So that's what my platform does. It gives them the opportunity to come on, let everybody know, because they can't get to everybody out if they're in the streets. So once they flyers get put out, because I do create flyers, once they flyers get put out, you best believe people is watching. They watching, they want to know what's going on, what's going to be said, if their name is going to be mentioned. So everyone is going to watch to see what's going on.
Okay, okay. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to Miss Tenille Davis, CEO of Peachy Tea Tyme. Uh, Great to have you on. So,
Thank you.
man, I know talking to these families about these different stories, I imagine it's probably really, really heavy. Is it something that what I mean? I would ask you, is it something like, are you on there getting emotional? I imagine it has to be heavy.
It can possibly be heavy. I tell people, Jeff, that God built me for this. God positioned me for this. Um, do I get emotional? Not on every show. No. There are shows with some families that I do get emotional on. One thing that I do for every family that comes on my show, I make a tribute video for them. I have them send me at a minimum 15 pictures. I think I probably had one person that sent me a total of 80 pictures. 80
Oh wow.
pictures, y'all, for a tribute video. Of course, I wasn't able to use them all, but when I'm in the process of making these videos, because I make them myself, when I make the videos, it's like I'm doing a job. So it doesn't affect me at all when I'm making it. But when the family comes on, they tell the story, and then I hit play for that video, for the tribute video. That's when it hit me. Now, I want to also make this clear. Every family that comes on my show, I talk to them before the show. I build a rapport with them. I don't just talk to them one time. I talk to them more than once. Um, and I get to know the story. I do my research just as well. So after I done all of that, by the time they come on the show, every question that I ask them, I already know the answer to. But my viewers don't know the answers to them. So that's why I ask these questions. So when they hit me with something that I didn't know, that they didn't tell me, and then I play this tribute video, that's when it hit me hard. So I do have some clips, some not some clips, but some shows where you literally see me boo-hoo crying. On my intro for Wednesday nights, because I do my shows 4 days out the week. So Wednesday nights is when the families come on. So if you all pay attention to my intro, you will see at the end of the song of the intro, the jingle, it's a young lady from Detroit, Michigan. She comes on and she basically is talking to me, telling me, my platform is going to go to a whole nother level, but at the same time, it's gonna come with devils. And if you look at me, like, I am like bawling, I am in tears, boohoo crying. And shout out to that family just as well. The young man, they came on like 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But I think his name was D Wood. D Wood from Detroit, Michigan. He was murdered, and the family came on, and that was definitely one of the hardest shows. One of the hardest shows.
Okay. Um, I know you say the streets talk. Have you had any pushback? Like, say a family comes on and they're telling, their side of the story. Have you had any pushback or anybody message you privately or anything like that to maybe say, well, that ain't what really happened? Like, do you get any pushback in that way?
Yes, I do. I do have people that come on. They may not like the family that's on there. They may not like. There was a gentleman that came on my show. He was bringing families from South Bend, Indiana. Shout out to South Bend. They are one of my highest views cities, just as well. And he came on, and when I tell you, they did not like him at all. I mean, I was getting people from all over South Bend reaching out to me, telling me, "Get him off your show. He don't need to be on there. He will sabotage your show." I mean, just saying a lot of negative stuff, And eventually, I did have to tell him, "I'm sorry, you can't come on anymore." I mentioned to him that he can bring the families on, but he couldn't be on the platform. And at that point, he just was like, "No." And it bothered me because I thought that's what the whole purpose was for the families, for the families to be on the platform, for the families to be able to bring the awareness and, you know, make sure that their loved one name stays alive. So that was very, very disappointing to me. That basically he took it all away, But of course, being Miss Peachy and who I am, I still have a lot of South Bend, Indiana people that watches Elkhart, Michigan, all of them. They still watch the show. They still reach out to me. Some of the families that came on, they bring other families on still just as well. So
Wow. Wow. So basically, you're having a major impact. If I could ask you, where do you see Peachy Tea Time going and or growing to? Like, where do you think you're going? Like, where do you think your platform is going to? Is it evolving? Is it, are you limiting it or narrowing your focus, or are you widening your focus?
well, Peachy Tea Time, when I started it, um, I was on the platform with another young lady. Me and her started the platform together, and it was called Three Times Tea. And then things didn't go right after 6 months between me and her. So I had to start all over from scratch. And that's when Peachy Tea Time was evolved. I ended up literally, as soon as I put it out there, PGT time is about to start. Literally the very next day, I ended up getting a call saying, "Hey, would you like to come to the radio station?" It was
Hmm.
internet-based radio, but still, it was a radio station. And
Mm-hmm.
so I did that for a year and a half. I've been in 4 magazines here in Georgia. I've won the award for at an award show for Roku TV of the Year because after the radio station, my dad ended up having a stroke. And when my
Oh,
dad had a stroke, my parents couldn't keep my kids every weekend because I was just going to the radio stations on Saturdays, but I was still doing my platform at home during the week. So when my dad had the stroke, I wasn't able to take my kids to my parents' house every single weekend no more. So I prayed about it and I just started Googling, like what else can I do in place of this radio station? And that's when Roku TV came about. So when Roku TV came about, I was able to put my platform on there and also have my own network. So I am looking for other platforms to join my network just as well. Let me add that, Jeff. So
I hear you.
I
I hear you. I hear you.
you hear me? You hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am looking for that just as well, but it did evolve to Roku TV, which is big, it's major. But
Absolutely.
I've always saw PGT time on TV. So that's where I'm working on now, trying to get it on cable TV. Netflix, HBO, Showtime, like whichever direction that it can go. Because my thing is this, Jeff. I feel like all these families that come on my show, I've had so many families I can't even count. And all these families that come on, I feel like they need to be heard. They need to be on HBO. They need to be on Netflix. They need to make sure that everyone hears about their story. So that's what my biggest next thing is trying to get it out there to cable TV, to all these other platforms, like Netflix, HBO, and all of them.
Wow, wow. So, man, I can see it happening. I definitely can
Thank
see it
you.
happening, man. I see.
Thank
I've been. I was doing some. I was doing some digging. I was looking at the platform, and
you.
man, uh, I see major things happening with your platform, man. You got a major following. People are loving your shows and what you're doing. I think it has a bigger impact than even you even see right now. So,
Definitely,
man.
definitely. I always tell people that Peachy Tea Tyme is bigger than me. A lot of people feel like I'm helping people. Peachy Tea Tyme is helping me just as well. Definitely helping me. And, I give a lot of credit to my viewers, my peoples, my folks, my family. Those, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. And shout out to, I should have said this in the beginning, but shout out to Saginaw, baby. Shout out to Saginaw. Shout out to BV. I always make sure I say shout out to BV on my platforms just as well, because that's where I'm from. That's my high school that I went to. So I love BV so much. I love Saginaw. Saginaw is my number one viewers. A lot of my
Okay.
viewers come from Saginaw. But I do have viewers from everywhere else. Literally, Gulfport, Mississippi, Houston, Texas, Chicago. I don't know nobody. Nobody in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? But so many people is watching. They're picking up on what's going on. They're picking up my movement and everything. And they're all just falling in love with Miss Peachy. They're all falling in love with Peachy Tea Tyme. And I'm just so grateful, so honored. And trust me, y'all, when I say this, I am 100% humble and thankful for every single person that take the time out to watch Peachy Tea Tyme. A year ago, I turned Peachy Tea Tyme. I'm not gonna say I turned it. I added Peachy Tea Tyme into a foundation. So I am a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I am doing my very first event. I've done parties. I've done anniversaries for Peachy Tea Tyme where everybody come, we all get together, we have a good time. But this is my very, very, very first time having an event for Stop the Gun Violence and Domestic Violence. And I was blessed to be able to have this event in one of the malls here in Georgia. Shout out to Stonecrest Mall. Actually, they want me to say it correctly. The mall at Stonecrest, but us, we call it Stonecrest Mall, okay? That's what we call it.
Yeah,
So,
we name stuff. That's what we do.
exactly, we do our own thing.
Yeah.
But shout out to the mall. I contacted the man. His name is Donald. And I'm just gonna be honest. He's a white man.
Mm.
And for me to be able to contact him and tell him over the phone what my platform is about and what it does, and the way he just warmed my heart by just saying, "Oh my gosh, yes, you can definitely do this here." He was like, "This is so needed." But he gave me the rules, Jeff. He gave me the rules.
Oh yeah,
He was
gotta
like,
get good.
"Oh yeah, it gotta be family friendly. It can't be no cussing with these performers and everything." He said, "Cause I will put y'all up out of here." So, and I'm trying to make this an annual thing. So, I'm completely grateful. I've been, trying to get it together for the past 3 months. It's been hard. I've cried. I've gotten mad, I've been happy, you know, tears of joy. I've gotten sponsors, I've gotten donations. I literally have a total of 17 people that has been like, I want to be part of this event. I want to be something. And so I'm just so grateful and so thankful for everyone that is taking part in this event. And I know it's going to be big. I know it's going to be memorable. I know I will never, ever forget, no matter how many more events I put on from this day forward. I know this event at Stonecrest Mall is definitely going to be memorable for me. And I'm
Okay.
just so, so thankful and
So,
cannot wait
man.
for August 10th to get here.
Okay. I was gonna ask you, like, give us the details. When is it gonna happen? Like,
Yes, it is August 10th from 12 to 3 p.m. And it is at Stonecrest Mall, the mall at Stonecrest. And Jeff, guess where they put me at? In front of Foot
when-
Locker.
oh wow. Hey, you know what? When we go to the mall, we go to Foot Locker. So
We
hey,
go to Foot Locker. It's a given. You're going,
yeah,
even if you ain't got no money, you're gonna stop
right.
at Foot Locker.
Yeah, you looking at some stuff when I get my check.
I'm
I'm gonna
making
get
sure
these.
I go to Foot Locker. So they are putting me in front of Foot Locker. And when I tell you, I'm just so happy. You know, they put me in front of my peoples. Okay. They put me in front of my peoples, right across from Foot Locker. I mean, it's a big space that they're giving me. So right in front of Foot Locker is a to me, it looks like a black owned spa, so and very upscale. So I'm very, very thankful for that. They're gonna give us a stage. We're gonna have vendors there just as well, and they're only resource vendors. Nobody's selling anything at all because we are in a mall. So it will be resource vendors where you all can come and get information all the way from real estate to Georgia Works, which is a program that shows people, about jobs that's available, how to apply for these jobs, things like that. And we also have other nonprofit organizations that are resource vendors just as well.
That's awesome, man. It's awesome to have an event like that where you can bring a
Thank you.
bunch of resources together. So people can go here, go there, get some, anything you need. You just kind of go around and get information, man. That's great.
Exactly, exactly. And one of the biggest things that I'm proud of about the event to me, which is like the biggest thing of them all, is that I will be honoring 6 mothers who lost their child to gun violence. So I'm truly, truly thankful that God positioned me through the sponsorships just as well, that I'm able to honor these moms. And all the moms have been on my show and told their story, except for one of the mothers, and that's because her son was actually murdered, Jeff, on the 4th of July of this year.
Oh man.
So, and she's a friend of mine just as well. So she's the only one that haven't been on the platform because it's still fresh.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I've literally had people on my platform where there was a family that came on where their mom was murdered the week before,
Oh
and
wow.
they was able to come on the show, and tell their mother's story. So we still have families that come on right away, but some, you have to be prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to face coming on the show with people watching you, looking at you, hearing your story. Then you got the chat going where, I put up the people comments on the screen. So it's a lot. It is not easy coming on a platform. Even though all they see is me, but they still know that all these people are watching and hearing them. So
Absolutely.
it's not easy at all. It's opening up wounds just as well. Some of these families, they have been on and their loved one was murdered 2, 3, 4 years ago, but they still come on and it's still opening up old wounds, But at the end of the
Right.
show, they still say thank you so much for allowing us to come on your platform, and that's one of the biggest things about it. So
Awesome, awesome, man. Well, I'm so thankful that you had the time to come on today.
Thank you.
Before you go, for somebody that might have been living under a rock and haven't come across your platform, like where can people tune in? Where can they, check you out? You know what I mean? Like give us the rundown.
Look, you said living on the rock. Jeff, is millions and millions of people out there. So yeah, I know all y'all ain't living on a rock. You just ain't found out about me yet. But if you would like to find me, baby, you can find me on all platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and our number one platform, Roku TV. That's where you can find me at. All platforms is Peachy Tea Tyme. My main platform where I get all the views from seem like is my personal page because that's where I started off at, and that's Tenille Davis. But of course, I prefer for you all to go to YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that gray shaded bell because if you hit the gray shaded bell, you'll be able to get alerts when I'm about to go live. And of course, make sure you download the app on Roku TV. Please download the app on Roku TV so that you can watch me on there just as well. I want to make sure I also add, Jeff, that I do have two co hosts. I come on 4 days out the week, but my two co hosts only come on 1 day out the week. So shout out to Jason. Jason, he is from Detroit, Michigan. He lives in Minnesota right now. I met Jason on an app, even though we're both from Michigan. I did meet him on an app, and he loved what I was doing, and he asked to join forces with me. Of course, I didn't say yes right away. It took some time because I wanted to make sure that Peachy Tea Tyme brand is built. And once I brought him on, it just helped take off. And so shout out to Jason and also my husband. Shout out to Pooley. I love Pooley. And everybody that know me, they know I love me some Pooley, baby. It ain't no Pooley love him some Miss Peachy.
Right, right.
Yes, so shout out to him. Pooley is on with me on Fridays. I'm sorry. He's on with me on Fridays. Jason is on with me on Wednesdays when the families come on. And then on Fridays, me and Pooley, we talk about love and relationships. And then we also throw in some crime just as well. So you all can catch me on Monday nights where I'm solo dolo unless I have a guest. And that's at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. You can check me out on Wednesday night with Jason. That's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, which is my favorite night. May I add, Jeff? Because people think that Fridays, because I'm on with my husband, that got to be my favorite night of Peachy Tea Time, but it's not. I love Pooley. Me and Pooley been married for 17 years. We've been together for 25 years, if I'm not mistaken. But Wednesdays are my favorite nights because of the families. To
Right.
have these families come on my show, y'all just don't know. That's like the biggest thing for me because I have to reach out to these families. And a lot of them reach out to me. Don't get it twisted. They reach out to me and they say, "Hey, can I come on your platform?" But in the beginning, I had to reach out to them to tell them about Peach Tea Time
Hmm.
to come on. So when I tell you that's like my favorite night is Wednesday. So make sure y'all tune in on every single Wednesday when we have these families on. And that's at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And then Fridays with me and Pooley. You see how my face just light up. When I talk about my husband,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
face just light up. But every
My man, my
Friday,
man, my man.
my man. But every Friday, y'all can catch me and Pooley at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then on Saturdays is exposure. It's exposure day. We call it the weekend spot because every show has its own name. Mondays is just Peachy Tea Time. Wednesdays is Peachy News. And then Fridays is Our Peachy Thoughts, a married couple's point of view. And then on Friday is a married couple's point of view. And then on Saturdays, it's called the Weekend Spot, baby. The Weekend Spot, where we have interviews from independent artists, celebrity artists, actors, actresses, comedians, anybody that got something going on that would like to get exposed in a good way. In a good way now. You come on Saturdays. We play games. I show music videos of the independent artists. Like, we really, really have a good time on Saturdays where we just lay back, then had a hard week, and we just come on Saturdays and have a good time. And that is at 7:30 on Saturdays. So that's it. That's everything about me.
Cool, cool, man. I want to thank you so much for coming on, man. Man, this has been amazing.
Thank
Man, I wish
you.
you much success on your platform. Like
Thank
I
you.
said, I just even in my snapshot of just looking at it, I can tell that, man, it's gonna take off. Like
Thank you
this is
so
just the
much.
beginning for what you're doing. So,
I
man,
received that. I received that so, so much. We do have a lot going on in the works. So I'm truly, truly happy. Let me say this right quick before we get
yeah,
off of here, Jeff. Because we praise Peachy Tea Tyme a lot today. We
yeah,
praise it a lot, but I want everybody to know that Peachy Tea Tyme has went through a lot, good and bad. Um, there was a time, and there's a reason for me telling you all this. In December, I was blessed to get a studio. I was blessed to get a studio space. I'll say that, a studio space. And the lady that gave me that space, she gave it to me for free. She said, "I just
wow,
want to help you. I want to see you grow. I love what you're doing. Here you go." And I walked away from my job October 18th of last year. I worked for a big known hospital here in Georgia. I've been in the medical field for 17 years, 18 years, somewhere up in there. And I walked away from the job October 18th. And then in December, she blessed me with a studio space. I was excited, so happy, cried when she gave it to me. And I'm like, okay, well, I just walked away from my job. How I'm gonna fill this place up, So shout out to my dad. I love my daddy. Hey, daddy. And my mom's watching too. We call her Mama Peach. That's
all right.
Carolyn
Hey,
Murray.
mama.
That's in the chat. So hey, Mama Peach. But my dad helped me fill it up and everything. And then once tax time came, y'all, I had to give him his money back. I had to give him his money back when tax time came. So I gave him his money back and everything. We filled it up. And February, I opened it up to the public, and I've had two, three, four, five people that actually offered me space, but God didn't tell me to take it. So I didn't take it. But
Hmm.
this particular lady, I said, okay, I'm going to take it. I was so happy. My viewers know that I was just extremely happy to have this space. Well, I opened it up to the public in February, and then May, she closed it down.
Mm,
And I had to come back home, and which I was already doing, shows at home anyways, because I have so many families from all over, they can't come inside the studio.
right.
So I will only utilize the studio when I have families here in Georgia that was able to come inside the studio. But the other families, I would do it from home. And so come May, she had to close it down. And I cried, I
Mm,
cried. I was sad. And I'm like, Lord, what is going on? What am I going to do? How am I going to go back to my viewers and tell my viewers, we're not in studio no more, because everybody was happy for me, But shout out to my cousin Edward. Shout out to my cousin Edward. He stays in Michigan as well. And he ended up writing a comment on my post when I told everybody that we was going to be closing the studio. He told me, he said, I'm not going, I mean, he had a long post, but the things that stuck out the most was, he said, I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'm sorry that this happened. He said, I'm going to tell you, congratulations, you passed the test. And what he meant by that was, that platform just wasn't for me to be in that studio.
Right.
It just wasn't. God was preparing me for something bigger and huge. You know what I'm saying? And he
Yep.
just wanted to know if I was gonna do right and follow him and do what I was supposed to do. And I did do that. Even though it was taken away from me, y'all, I still know that God got something bigger waiting on me. I just gotta be patient. I gotta continue to praise him and thank him in advance for what he's going to do for me and for Peachy Tea Tyme. I never put the two of us together because Peachy Tea Tyme and Miss Peachy and Tenille and the Misses, I got all type of names, Jeff. They all different people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just know that God got something bigger and better waiting on me. And I'm just thankful just to be able to have done that. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be able to put on that resume. I had a studio. So the reason why I'm telling y'all this is always make sure you praise God. No matter what storm you going through. Just like I tell my families that come on the show, still be thankful to God that you all are able to still wake up the very next day. Because when you wake up the next day, guess what, y'all? You got 24 hours. You got 24, just like Oprah Winfrey. She big paid. But guess what? She got had the same 24 hours that we have. So make sure you do all you can to do what you got to do in your 24 hours because you just never know. If you watch Peachy Tea Tyme, you never know if you're going to be here tomorrow or you're going to be here the next day. But you are here when you wake up the next day. So I love
Right.
y'all. And Jeff, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I thank you so, so much. I really, really do.
Man, I'm thankful that you
And
came
I
on.
can't wait to bring you on my platform.
Hey, man, we'll get that together for sure. I know you
Definitely.
don't
I
do
cannot
politics,
wait.
but you know,
Yeah, I do, and let me tell you why. Because I don't know. I don't know. I do not know a lot about politics. But baby, you ask me about crime and you ask me about celebrity gossip. I can run everything down to you. Unfortunately, I can run it all down to you. But I will leave out by saying this. Um, Congratulations to Kamala Harris, however y'all want to pronounce it. Congratulations to her. I was not surprised that Biden stepped down. I was not surprised at all. I don't know why. I just felt it in my heart that something was about to happen when it comes with Biden. So I do hope and I pray that she wins. She will be the first female president. And she one of us. She one of us just as well. So shout out to her. Shout out to her.
no doubt, no doubt. Thank you so much for coming on. So
Thank
much.
you
Thank
as
you,
well.
everybody. All your supporters that came with you because they was riding with you. They here.
Yes, thank y'all. Thank you. I love my when I say they my family, they my folks. I love all my supporters. And they know, trust me, they know I love them because I tell them all the time. I really do love them. So many of my supporters literally became my friends. They became my friends, they became my family because you know, all family, just because they blood that don't mean that they family, y'all. I'm sorry. I hate to say it like that. Some of them are family. Some of them you love, you ride with them and everything. But sometimes you have family members that they're just there because they're family. So don't sleep on your friends. Do not sleep on your friends because some of your friends can truly, truly become family members in the heart. In the heart. So I love my viewers. I love every last one of them.
Cool, cool. Well, again, I want to thank you so much for coming on. God bless, and I'll be in touch. Absolutely, I will. So I want to come your way as well.
Yes, and you need to come on over there to my Roku TV.
No,
We're gonna talk
no
about it. We're
doubt,
gonna
no
talk
doubt.
about it, Jeff.
For sure, for sure. All right. Thank you again. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Yep.
Mwah. Love you guys.
All right. All right. That was Miss Peachy Tea Time, Miss Tenille Davis. Man, man, that was amazing, amazing, amazing. interview. I feel honored to even have connected. I've known her husband, man, me and him, yay high, you know what I mean? So to connect with his wife, man, that's love, man. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody that left comments. Thank you everybody that I see Carmen. Great to meet you as well. Shalonda, Tamika, man. So many great people that came on today to support the show and to support Tenille. Man, so thankful. I don't take it for granted at all. Like, cause people have so many things going on. They don't have to support you. They don't have to support you. So when people show you love, man, show them love back. You know what I mean? That's a mutual thing. And so, man, I'm so thankful for everybody that came on. I even had a birthday. Miss B, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Appreciate you coming on. And man, I just want to close out by saying thank you so much. Thank you for supporting Cap. Thank you for supporting Peachy Tea Tyme. Make sure y'all go and check her out on all platforms that she's on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, man, Roku TV. Make sure y'all get that app and go check out Peachy Tea Tyme. Make sure y'all support. This is about support. If you don't know nothing about me, and you don't know nothing about my platform and what we're about with Saginaw Cap, community alliance for the people, we align with people, we connect with people, and we support people, man. Like, we shout people out, you know what I mean? We center our folks. And so, man, I'm going to do my best to connect with her. I'm already connected with her on Facebook. We're going to do some more connecting. But I'm gonna share her platform, follow her platform, because it's major. It's something that a lot of. It's another side of what we're dealing with in our community. A lot of times we just see stuff flash on the news. Somebody got killed or somebody was a victim of violence, but oftentimes you don't see the story from the family. You don't hear that side of it, and she's bringing that side of it to the people, man. And we got to support that. We have to appreciate that perspective. And she's doing amazing work in that regard. And so, man, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. Again, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate you guys sharing and loving and, supporting us in every way. I appreciate it. Don't take it for granted. It's all love. Go ahead and get off of here. Until the next time, man, I love y'all.